What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fire, Sheets Haber. What I want to remind you, just for a limited time, still use the code Masters TDFS for 33% off your first month with us. We've got a lot of amazing packages, and also worth again, even if you've done a trial before, we're doing the trials again because we have a lot more of an offering than we did then. And as Sheets and I were just sort of saying, before we jumped in here, is that we're both a little underprepared, which means we're get to build together. So that's going to be kind of fun.
Well, I'm going to run some projections.
Okay.
But right now, I'm just going to share my screen. We'll just use some SaberSim projections and see what's what. What you could do for me, if you could check like weather.
Yeah. It does. There's no like. It doesn't seem like there's any warnings of any kind. The only thing that there is looks like pretty good hitting weather in Tampa Bay. A little wind blowing out to right, 74 degrees. Winds blowing in a little bit, only 6 miles an hour in Atlanta. And in Colorado, 66 degrees with 11-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from left.
Got looks like a huge total in that Colorado game.
Yeah, it's just the pitching. It's always going to be like that.
Who is it, Urena?
It's Senzatella, who...
Same thing.
No, it never works with him, no. Like, he's the one I always point out.
Really?
I always just point out that it works so much less than people think. And then Tyler Alexander for the Brewers, who was actually, like, really good in his first start of the year. Yeah, that just feels like a very obvious, it's a 5-game slate. I think that we have a pretty direct path. Just you got to try to mostly fade it as 5-man stacks go. I'll X out the 5-mans probably once I get a better feel for the ownership. And I actually have no idea how I'm doing today, by the way. I haven't really looked.
I thought you might do okay because I thought you were going to stack the Washington Dodgers game. That game's going crazy.
I do have that number of places. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the right pitching combinations, I guess, now that I look at it.
Yeah.
But I mostly had the right pitching. I had Fried as my highest owned, right? And it looks like I have.
I got to run to get my coffee. Hold on.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I have a little too much of the San Diego A's game. That's the one that got me today. But we still have plenty of time left for the Dodgers anyway. All right, jumping into tonight's slate, I just uploaded my contest. I haven't even built anything yet, but I'll just talk through what I'm going to do. I personally like on a 5-game slate, there's just a 0.0% chance. I don't care how many people do. There's no way I'm going to play. What I'm going to guess is going to be an insanely popular. Yeah, you don't have any player on Milwaukee projected at less than 25% ownership. Now, if you want to mix them in, go ahead. I would have 0 5-man stacks of Milwaukee. I actually don't. I might have 0 5-man stacks period on this 5-gamer. I just don't see any reason to do it.
Well, I will say this. I mean, I'm just running my straight build without even simming, and I'm getting like 0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, because the ownership is just outrageous.
Right. I know. Right.
Yeah. So let's see. But Colorado, on the other hand, is a little more manageable. Their ownership I can deal with. So I'm not going to X out the 5-man stacks from Colorado for what it's worth. And actually, you know what? I'm going to X out the 5-man stacks in general and see what kind of builds I get. I don't think you have to 5-man stack on a. I'm trying to see if there's one spot that I think that makes enough sense, and I don't really feel like they're. I don't love KC. I don't like KC, Minnesota. I think you could make a strong case for the Braves and for the Phillies. It's a little surprising this game's doesn't have a higher total. Maybe the Rays against Kikuchi, but you know what? I'm going for it. The no 5-man stacks for me today. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm getting like all kinds of this, like you mentioned, like Tampa. I don't mind playing the other side of that, the Angels. I like that too.
Yeah, I think Pepio is really good, so I'm not going to do it, but I get it. And it's a small slate, so it doesn't even matter, really. You know what I mean? Well, look at Chris Sale and Zach Wheeler beat the hell out. Both got beaten up last night.
They did.
Yeah. Could use the Dodgers to pick up the pace a little. Isn't that game in like the 4th inning? Sheets. I can't deal with the stuff in the people complaining. And I mean, I literally saw the other day. The first inning was over, and people were saying, "Of course, the night I play the Mets. Of course, I'm like, if you're gonna look at one inning of a baseball game, that's like taking like the first 3 minutes of a basketball game and getting furious that you drafted somebody. I cannot take it. All right, let me just see really quick. I actually don't even know what's happening in that game. I just know that it was early last time I looked. So yeah, it's the bottom of the fifth. There's a million. I mean, this is you don't even think about this stuff yet, in my opinion. Dodgers are picking it up a little.
Well, the reason why is because it was 5-3 after the first inning, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 4-3.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Arizona's going a little bit wild.
Yeah, not Baltimore though. It's annoying.
Not the Baltimore side. No, it was. But I had a little bit of it. It's not enough. Yeah, that's what it is. I just was way too into the San Diego Athletics game, and I should have just listened to Saberson possibly. And although it's not like the Reds players have put up huge games, but they did beat the hell out of Verlander early. Although he stayed in and ended up looking really good. All right.
Yeah, Verlander was like 3% owned.
No, he wasn't. Was he?
I think so.
No. Oh my God. I've got to find some of my Verlander lineups then, because that's crazy. He was in my best lineup for a while ago. Let me just. Oh, he is still. Yeah, he's. Oh, yeah, 11% in the lottery. He ended up with 9 strikeouts. And
did he really?
Yeah, he ended up with he had 16 fantasy points. Almost got in line for the win. But
let's see what FanDuel comes up with here. It's another Joe Ryan day, huh?
Joe Ryan and all right. Let's see what I
say Joe Ryan day. I mean days that I'm not going to play Joe Ryan.
Why do you? I don't. You seem to have a memory of this that I just.
I have a bad memory of this. I think
there was one game though. Like I actually felt like he was pretty consistent.
Maybe.
But it might have been a big one. You know what I mean? It might have been like he had everything else in place.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think Pepio is. I mean, I think he makes the most sense. I don't think you have to do it. I don't like. Maybe you know what? I'm going to look at this Boston-Toronto game a little deeper. I want to look at Gaussman and how he's done historically. He should have faced these guys a number of times by now. All right, let's see.
Now, keep in mind that the Milwaukee lineup is not out yet in Colorado.
They suck at getting lineups out. They're like the worst.
Oh yeah,
it's so annoying to me. No, the Angels are the worst, but usually they are. Gaussman he's had a pretty decent history, and they hit him a little. Yeah, okay, nothing too much to read into there. Tanner Houck, I've tried to do that a bunch of times. It never usually works for me, but it's been a slow start for him. Maybe that's I think it is 43 degrees in Boston, but there's a little wind blowing out, and we know that park you can hit in the cold. It's no problem. I'm going to be curious. So all I'm doing right now is combining Goldie and because I
haven't done the projections.
Yeah, so I've got Goldies and SaberSim combined. And I X'd out 5-man stacks. We'll see what I get. And let's run the Sims and then see what shows up. I'm not sure I'm going to stick with this. This is what my first thought was, because I don't love any one stack. I think that you could make a case for Boston and Toronto. I think Tampa Bay makes a lot of sense as a pivot off of Coors. But just by trying to get different on these little slates, I really don't mind. Look at that. It doesn't even change my min ROI. It was still pretty solid.
I made a couple of manual upgrades in the Masters.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, some new guys. I upgraded Hovland. I upgraded Aberg.
Yep, me too.
I upgraded Fitzpatrick.
I had to because you
had to. I put it out there, right?
Yeah, you put it out there. You got no choice.
I upgraded Homa, but it totally sealed it for me. I was watching a betting podcast. Someone said their best bet of the day was Homa to miss the cut, so I'm down. I'm totally down.
I'm curious what happens with this one.
Wait, but there's another guy that I upgraded.
And he's been on like every podcast this week. It's weird. He's very open about his struggles. Why is Tampa Bay ownership so low? That's interesting.
And Baccia I upgraded. Sorry.
Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. I'm getting Tampa as my biggest. And
by a lot.
Yeah, and I don't even see why I wouldn't want to just do that. Like, okay. Yeah, Baccia. I mean, I did all the guys that we mentioned on our show. I always give them a big boost. Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of liking what I'm getting here, and pitching wise, I'm getting Pepio, then Gausman, then Ryan, then Kikuchi. Nothing crazy. It's a little surprising to me. I like Grant. Like Grant Holmes might be fine, but like and Sabersim, they've got a giant total that's way higher than the game, like over running a little more than a run. I would have thought that Philadelphia and Atlanta would have been the other things to do today, and it doesn't look like anyone's doing that. Are they all just playing? Oh no, I'm sorry. They are doing the Atlanta thing. They are not doing much of the Philly thing. Okay, that's interesting to me. I am not. I would like to not have all of this Minnesota exposure. I don't love it for them. I actually really don't love them in this matchup. And I am going to just rerun this with Goldie. Let me just add Goldie's ownership. Let me just double check when Goldie last updated his projections. Let's see. Oh, he just did it. So we're in good shape. The only one we don't have is Milwaukee, but that's okay, at least as far as stacks go. So we'll do this. And by the way, it is a 6:45 start, just so you guys, just to make sure we're on one time of everything. Let's do Goldie average. No, let's do Goldies. So now I'm going straight Goldies and seeing what's what if I rebuild here. All right, let's
do mine in like 5 minutes. Not even. I'm just doing.
Yeah. I was just giving a hard time. I wasn't even Scott. I wasn't giving you a hard time specifically. I was just saying in general. It's just the baseball complaining after one or two, and it's just I can't take it. Or after a team scores 3 runs or 2 runs in the first, like that's time it was 2 runs in the first. People are like, "Oh, I guess it's them tonight. It's their night." I'm like,
no raise, no cash.
It's like ridiculous. Like it's just everything is, you can get the bulk of, you can get all of your production in like the last, whatever inning of the game. Let's see. All right, let me see what I've got here. I think the Angels is an interesting low-owned option, even though I'm going to play Pepio.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
How are you? So when you say you're doing that, how are you doing that? This is my question to you because I don't know because you don't usually tweak too much of the baseball ones.
No, I'm getting to that anyway.
You're getting it.
Gotcha. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. I'm not intentionally playing the Angels. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't think it ever should go like I think in every baseball slate is like this, but I really think that you should obviously I actually would argue that you could widen the salary gaps. Like I don't think you need to think about salary like one bit on these.
Well, check this out. These are not going to be my final lineups, but look at some of these lineups that I have playing right now. Like 2,000 on the table, 1,900 on the table. I mean, like.
Yeah, I love that for small slates. I don't see any reason why you have to. So we got the Goldie's stuff likes it even more, the Tampa thing. Is it really going to be that low owned? All right. Goldie's got it a little bit higher owned for Tampa than Sabersim does, but that sounds great to me.
Yeah. And
I'm only getting like 3 Milwaukee players in any of my builds, and that sounds great to me too. Just hope for the Senzatella and that they score, 4 runs, and whoever hits a home run costs $6K, and my 2 guys who are cheaper are going to hit them out. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Let's throw this up here.
By the way, I've been listening to a lot of everybody's telling us the most shocking NBA season ever, but it is pretty unprecedented. The year with the Luka trade, and then 2 coaches who at the time were top 4 seeds in their conference, one with 2 weeks to go and one with a week to go, that already won a title. It's nothing like this has ever happened before, and they were just talking about it. It was fascinating.
Just like you mean the big changes and stuff?
Yeah, just everybody's calling it the weirdest NBA season of all time. That there's like nothing makes any. There's more things that make no logical sense. And in the information era, so many things were speculated and leaked out, and all these things. And now there's all this stuff. This sort of happens, and it feels a little bit out of the bluey. All right. Yeah, I think you're right, Scott. I think that ownership does come up.
On Tampa?
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to come up to an egregious number or anything that we can't play them. I just think that's going to come up a little. Okay, there's a lot of innings left. Okay, it's not over yet. Yeah, so I'm getting to Tampa, and my stack exposure types are almost all 4-mans because I'm not stacking 5-men.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to roll with it tonight and just see how it cruises. And I'm just using. I mean, look, that's. I'm not setting a minimum on any of these or maximum on anybody. Although I actually, you know what? I might on Pepio because I'd like to get a little more of them than I'm getting. When I changed to Goldie's projections, Pepio went by the wayside a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because the Angels popped up. Yep. Okay. Well, I do like that to get to some of that. So I'm just going to, but I just want a little bit more of them. All right. So yeah, it's going to be Pepio, Gaussman, then Ryan for me as my favorites. And I don't know if that's right. I think Ryan should probably be at least, they should probably be similar. For whatever reason, Gaussman's strikeout rate is really good against this Boston team. It's like 35%.
Who's?
Gaussman.
Oh.
Because he used to pitch for Baltimore, so he faced them before. And obviously with Toronto.
Do you ever pitch for the Red Sox too?
No. Let's see. I saw a cool thing the other day about what the team starting lineups would be. All the MLB teams, if they played guys that they had drafted, and guess what team would still. And they did a whole analysis about how they projected how many wins they'd have. Guess who was number one?
Dodgers.
Yeah, by a lot. It's actually pretty crazy because they had like so many guys that people like O'Neal Cruz, Jordan Alvarez. They have so many guys in their system that even with all this stuff they've done. Brody says he's getting to Tampa as well. Well, we're going to be fighting it out with each other, guys. Hopefully.
So I just updated projections, so I'll just run all this again. Why not? See if I'm sure I'll get like completely different builds. Maybe I just shouldn't look. That's not a bad idea.
Watch Milwaukee wait forever. I mean, this is pretty stupid. They don't have their lineup out. That game's in. Oh, I guess it's 3 hours away, so it's not 2 hours away. That bothers me less than it did before.
Let's try again. I'll tell you what, I'll split the difference with you. I'm not going to X out the 5-man, but I'm not going to demand them. How about that?
Oh, hey, look at us.
Okay.
So
I won't make any changes in the stacks.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. Let's see there's only one, right? There's only really one. I mean, you could late swap, I guess, at 7:30, whatever. But there's a Milwaukee, Colorado. Nothing you could do. Probably you should put, if you have a big 5-man stack in Milwaukee, it's not going great. You should swap it all to a Colorado 5-man.
Absolutely, just leave whatever it takes on the table.
Or actually, what you should probably do? Just go like individuals, like 3 from one and 4 from the other, or something.
Yeah, that would be totally fine. That's what I've done before in the past in those situations. Sometimes it works. All right, let's see. We're gonna run the sim one more time. Kind of content to leave it like this. I will hand build my big buy-in. Am I making any progress in the 555? I am not. You know what? Now I'm going to join in Scott and complain about my Dodgers not doing enough because
there it is.
I was waiting for. Now we're through six at bats. But they got everybody's getting at least one more. Ugh, really gross what I did on this early slate. I thought that was going to be in good shape. All right, let's see what we've got here. And all right, so yeah, I'm with So Ryan Pepio, that's a lot of Lugo. Okay, I can deal with this. And then team stacks. Tampa Bay and the Angels. Gonna know early how my night's gonna be.
That's who you're getting.
Those are my top two. Tampa Bay though, is 80%.
I mean, look at all this money left on the table. Look at these lineups. Let's see what happens.
Crazy.
Well, and Joe Ryan too. Gotta love it. You just gotta love it. Yeah, 61% Ryan, 45% Kikuchi. Those are my main.
Yeah. Do you think? Okay, we've been speculating about this forever about the best and worst sweats. You like the really weird sports sweats. I know that. I would debate that baseball is kind of the. I don't know what it is.
I love the baseball sweat. You want to know why?
Because it's crazy. Because if you need somebody to do something, it's never for me. It never happens. I only win when I'm running away with it.
That's not important. What's important is the actual act of the sweat. So I like baseball because it's not frenetic. You know what I mean? You know what you're rooting for, and you know when it's coming, and you can prepare for it. You know what I mean? You're okay, I'm going to need Hernandez to cut up this inning. So, and then it's like each batter takes a little while. You know what I mean? And there's not always action going on in other games. There's pauses. You can look around, whatever. As opposed to basketball, it's nonstop in freaking 6 venues, right? Or even
I like basketball because you have a feel for what's happening. Baseball, you could be up by 60 points and in the 9th inning of the last game, and you're dead. You could be dead.
That's true.
It happens a lot. It doesn't, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say. You know what? Since I won $1 million this year at football, I'm just going to say that football is my favorite sweat. Just call it that one.
No, and that's why I really like the tennis and the MMA sweats because, again, it's there's one MMA specifically because it's literally one fight at a time.
Right.
It's one fight at a time. You know exactly what you're rooting for, and you're focused completely on that. And then after that's over, you breathe for 15, 20 minutes. Before the next one, then you can look at your lineups and see what's dead, what you're rooting for. The only problem with it is the timing of it because it's on Saturday nights, so I can't ever really watch a whole card.
Yeah.
Golf, I actually hate.
What about Sundays? And I like the cut on.
Yeah,
on
sure. I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to the cut sweat. But like the Sunday the sweat is only if you're live, and it's so rare to be live. It's if you're baseball, if you have a stack, you can have one of five. You know what I mean? You got 5 shots. You know what I mean? It seems to get there. Where if you got one guy, I mean, you're gonna have to be really. I mean, listen, if you're live, yeah, sure, great, but I'm not a big fan of the golf sweat. Actually, that's just my.
I hear you. It's also tricky because of the positioning and the points for positioning. It sometimes can be hard to figure out where exactly you're going to finish.
Well, I know what the worst sweat is, and this is completely just not even remotely close. The worst sweat, sorry, Brandon, is NASCAR. Okay?
I thought you liked the NASCAR sweat.
No, it's atrocious because you have it's completely irrelevant, like how you're doing, the whole tournament.
Yeah,
especially in some of these slates, some of these tracks, you're just waiting for a crash, and what you're doing the first 3/4 of the thing doesn't matter. Your winnings don't matter. Literally nothing matters. So that's what makes it annoying.
Yeah, I could see that too. What about hockey? How does that feel for you? What's it close? What's it similar?
I like it. I like the hockey. The only thing that stinks about the hockey is it's really, really late. Like that, you really need to wait to that 10:30 game, and that goes to 1 o'clock in the morning. And there's never really an earlier slate like that. So it's late. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and especially because you're on the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, late for me, right? Exactly. So it looks like getting a handle on these projections, at least. I'm getting in there, and I'll let you guys. Again, I don't know why people want to know, but I will say what my exposures are.
Why do you say you don't think people want to know? I know you.
Well, because again, it's so much more important how I got there. You know,
Absolutely. I totally agree. Like in general, but like on that specific day, there might be a guy who's playing 3 lineups. And if something you show,
that's fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
You know,
well, that's fair enough. And again, remember, this is late swap, so I cannot guarantee that this is what I'm going to have.
Right.
But just for funsies, we'll take a look. You can't see what your exposures are in FanDuel, right? Yeah. I can look at them on SaberSim, right? So let's just see contests. Let's see lineups. Oops, no, wait, projections. So it's Tampa is the majority of my stacks here. Stack exposure, I have 58% Tampa. And
I'm hoping my 4-mans can beat your 5-mans is what I'm hoping for.
This is on FanDuel.
Oh, okay. I didn't
and 43% Braves actually.
43% Atlanta. I like the Philly thing if I was just picking, but I'm kind of content to leave it and try something I haven't really done before, which is just roll exclusively Goldie's projections and X out the 5-mans and make 2 changes of the pitchers, and that's it.
And pitching wise, pretty spread action on FanDuel. I have just as much Ryan is at the top, but then Gausman and Lugo. And I Pepio less than you like, I guess. I only have like 12% Pepio.
Sure. All right.
And on DraftKings, I imagine I'm freaking all kooky nuts here. Let me see. I'm almost positive I'm cuckoo over here. Especially with all this money left on the table. God knows what this is, but let's just see what it is. Contests. Okay.
Ryan and Pepe.
Your mind. So team stacks. Yeah, Minnesota's top stack for me.
People love the Minnesota today for some reason.
Then the Angels. Then Toronto. I have 0 Milwaukee on DraftKings.
Interesting.
Not a share. And then pitching wise, 60% Ryan, 45% Kikuchi. Oh, look at this guy. I got this is part of the Minnesota experience. You got the 2K Deshaun Kiersey. Whoever that is. But
I like Philly.
But pitching wise, Ryan, Kikuchi, Gausman, Pepio.
Yeah, I think in my big buy-in, I'm going to have a combo of Philly and Tampa Bay. So let's see. Tampa Bay does not have a second baseman available. They do have. We've got Caballero. It's short. It's not like Kikuchi's. By the way, it's not like I don't have anything against Kikuchi either. By the way, I just didn't. I'm just playing a different thing. Philly does they never have a cheap bat. That's what's hard to do with them.
Philly.
They just never have there's nothing cheap from them ever. Oh, we usually get like what's his Rojas in the outfield. That's it. But like Brandon Marsh is like a reasonable fantasy player. It's too far down in the order. All right, so can I get a 3-3-2 going? Maybe. I mean, look, it's a 5-game slate. I'm treating this like it's really small because, oh, you know what? Colorado is actually pretty cheap. All right, a 4-3-1 it is. Right.
I'll be doing, just for those who are interested, I'm going to be doing the UFC breakdown tomorrow. Going to be a wild slate. A lot of fantasy points, a lot of scoring, and probably. And I've been pretty right about this stuff. I haven't won recently, but at least I'm pretty good about figuring out what's going to win, what type of slate it's going to be. Whether it's going to be one where you can get unique or one where you can get away with getting chalky or whatever. And this week is very much similar to the way it's been the last couple of weeks. I've been saying that you could probably get away with playing like good plays and still have a chance to take down the whole cheese. There's a lot of options this week, and the main event, which is usually takes up all the ownership, is just not a lock. So
right.
that contributes to it being a really good slate to play because again you could run either run projection or watch my breakdown or some combination of the two. And I don't think you have to worry about 37 dupes in your lineups, which is that's always the major challenge of UFC. So let's. You're really seeing behind the scenes stuff here. You're seeing me actually upload the projections to the Google Drive. You don't see too much of that. Let's see.
Yeah. I am all right. I've settled on a 3-3-2 stack for the money with Philly, Tampa, and Colorado.
Oh, I like that. Hey, you're in it to the end.
Yep. Got some swipes at the end. Colorado's lineup's really cheap. I think they're going to be.
Not only that, who knows? Maybe really smash. Then you pivot to the chalky Milwaukee guys.
I don't think I'm going to have time to. I guess if Tampa score, no, I won't because Philly is right after. It's 10 minutes. They'd have to score. That'd be impossible because they're at the bottom of the inning. But if you did have the Angels, okay, theoretically, and who have the top of the first, and you get back-to-back home runs in the first 8 minutes, you could just switch over to Milwaukee, if you want to.
And I presume, I'm just guessing that you have not even looked at all at the NBA.
I have not, but I will. I'll take a look with you.
Yeah, I'm building. I mean, I just ran some projections. I'll see what it looks like. But again, the projections even at 601 are stupid.
Yeah.
What's going on in these games here? So we have Nationals and Dodgers 5-5, which that could mean anything. That could end up being 20-15.
Yeah.
Extra innings is rough. So Reds 6-5. The only team that's not scoring are the freaking Orioles.
Yeah, and the A's and Padres shut it down today. People always do this stupid thing. They write oh, if this happens, I'll be winning this much. I'm like, did you really search the 500 lineups in front of you and make sure that nobody else has that one player who you want to hit that home run? They just look at the score and they're like, oh, I'm 13 points back. If I get a home run, I'm going to pass everybody. No, that's not the way it works.
Right.
Baez, for what it's worth, can really hit. The problem is he just can't field. He had another home run today. But, yeah, that fielding is did he really have another home run today? And that's what I thought I saw. Yeah, he did.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm the ultimate Grinch who's still whining because one of my pet peeves, not even a pet peeve, it's really nitpicky, but it's true. When people say, oh, my God, I was catching for $1 million, and then this happened in the 9th inning or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's just because of the order of things. I mean, you obviously something good happened in the 6th inning.
Right.
That brought you there. Why don't you blame something that happened in the 3rd inning?
Yeah.
It's the same. Just because it happened last doesn't mean it was a worse beat. It just
Right. No, I hear what you're saying, but there are times where it's over. Like that for me, it was that one where I was going to win the million a couple.
No, I know, but that's just emotional. You know what I mean?
No, but you're missing the point because they were up by 20 points. I was in first place by a mile. They were up by 20 points and it was the fourth quarter with 4 minutes to go, and they threw up an interception. The two defenders dropped into each other, which I had the defense too, by the way. And then and San Francisco, of course, pulls all their players and doesn't get out back on the field. Instead, McCaffrey runs a touchdown. And so not only did I lose, I ended up finishing 7th for 3,000 or 10,000, 5,000 or whatever it was instead of $1 million. That one hurt. The other one I feel the right to complain on is the 250K for not the throwing to the other team. This is much worse. The craziest play in all of sports in the tie game going into overtime, and it's a game that I stacked in football with that New England Raiders game where the guy threw it back and then the defender ran it back for a touchdown as time expired in a tie game.
Oh, right.
That was the weirdest play. So that one I felt like that one hurt a little bit. But maybe, there may have been a path that lineup didn't win it in overtime. But although I had all the players, anyway. All right. So we did get a Milwaukee lineup for those of you keeping score out there.
But the good thing is, it doesn't affect me because I don't have any of them.
Yep, doesn't really affect me either. Is there any surprises in there? I don't think so.
Maybe they make some cheapo that even gets more ownership on that game.
I mean, that game is gonna. This might be the highest ownership we see for a while.
That's great. So needless to say, by the way, if you are doing well early, do not screenshot.
Yeah, don't screenshot anything. But at the same time, I love I love Colorado when they're on small slates because it's just so easy to get different.
One thing I do like, by the way, I don't know, this is whatever. I really enjoy the anti-sweat much more than the positive sweat in baseball. I love holding teams off with
yeah.
Rather than having to do so. I guess that's just because the percentages are on my side, I guess. But those are always kind of, even in basketball too, when I'm rooting for the you got all these guys chasing you from behind, you're just rooting for them to get pulled out of the game because the game is over.
Yeah, it can be brutal though too.
I know, but then when they all come out of the game, I just like raise my hand, even with like 4.5 minutes to go. It's over. It's like
right, and especially now at this time of year is the worst because like they'll put in the good players back in the game when they're down by enough late in the game. It's so
really?
Yeah, I'm telling you the Jordan Poole thing and what they were doing with him. I'm like, he scored 23 points in like whatever, like in a quarter, and they benched him until they were down by 30. They brought him back in. They benched him for 2.5 quarters. And then they brought him back in the fourth when it was too late for them to possibly catch up. It was just like, this is crazy. Yeah, the chalk lineups tonight. Everybody play. I'm not chalk lineups. Everybody, the ones who people thought would play are the ones who are playing.
Meanwhile, the dude from UVA, I think one that was in the optimal last night, the Reese Beekman.
Oh, really?
For Brooklyn, yeah, I think he was good enough. I think he got like 30 fantasy points at like 3,500 or something.
Is DraftKings? They're still running the small tournaments, right? I mean, not small, but like they're still like 20K for first. They're not doing anything bigger than that. Oh, yeah, 10K.
I'm more than happy to take 20K.
Yeah, but it's hard to win.
It's hard to win, sure, but
Last night for the 30.
You got to win freaking 10 League of Legends slates to get 20.
That's the best, Rody, when you hold off the people and you're asleep. He won the 33.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. People say this all the time that I go to sleep and I woke up to like a big score. I can't do that.
Oh, I had no idea I had a score coming. I accidentally, my first time ever scripting lineups, like building when I was back at Roto Grinders, I accidentally played somehow. I don't know why the settings back then allowed me, but I somehow had like Mike Trout and I had Dylan Bundy against the Angels, and then in like an Angels stack. But I'm sorry, and then a Baltimore stack when he was with Baltimore. And Dylan Bundy was like 1% owned. He ended up with like 17 strikeouts. So I was just like at 9 o'clock. I didn't see anything that was even close to cashing or even that much time left. But then I had an inning where a bunch of guys hit home runs in a row, and I had no idea.
And you're listening. You're talking to someone who demanded all of his horses that play poker text me updates every break at the World Series. So
that's true, and you'd think that I would be more that person than you would be.
Yeah,
but it's not the case.
Well, you know what it is? It comes from the stock market stuff. I need to know how I'm doing like all the time. If I were so inclined,
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't imagine. I mean, I hear these stories, and I know these other people who just don't even watch at all, like when they play DFS, which is, I guess I listen to each their own,
Yeah.
But I don't know, it doesn't seem like too much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to take a look at tomorrow's slate really quick, just because I am going to be heading up to Santa Barbara, and I'm got to plan my time around, see what I can do. Let me just see. Right.
But again, how many people like me and like literally don't even look at who they have? That's something else, I guess.
I think that the top players are very much like you in this.
I think so. Maybe. Yeah.
I'd be actually surprised that if very many. I would be surprised if Osimo, when he was had any idea who was there.
Well, that's the thing. I comment. It's so funny. I tweeted in one of the Discord channels with Nerdy Tenor. Like I was like head to head with him in like a tennis slate that was like 2K for first or something, right? And I texted him. I put in Discord. Huge battle between Sheets and Nerdy Tenor. So here's the question: number one, does Nerdy Tenor sweating? Number two, does he know he's even live? And number three, does he know he even played that tournament?
That's right. That's funny. All right.
This is probably no, and no.
Yeah. Okay, so baseball is just the morning slate tomorrow. So I'll do that. I'll get out of here. There's only one game at night, and
wait, what do we got tomorrow?
Just a baseball slate at 1 Eastern.
How many games?
Five on that slate. I'm guessing.
So it's a slate though. Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly
nothing in the evening.
Yeah, but it's interesting because
Oh, perfect.
I'm always fascinated what they do because clearly they make it. I mean, I understand that they do things differently too because baseball has different weeks or whatever. But I know they try to do the workout with the other sports. But the weird part is if you're doing that, you should have only night games the night of the Masters because people will watch it during.
Oh, the Masters, right.
It is wild just to say, since I started doing DFS or just even the last few years, it feels like since I started paying attention to golf, but every podcast that I listened to never, ever covered golf at all until like 4 years ago. Now they talk about it all the time. I'm sure they did back in the Tiger days, but like it was never talked about for years. Now everybody's at the Masters.
So this is tilted. I mean, it's not too tilted. He's a good friend of mine, or whatever. But this is definitely offensive. So my friend Jack, the guy who had the Florida thing,
Yeah,
the guy I know from college, he probably spoke to him at some point.
Yeah.
He like sells insurance, whatever. So he's going to the Masters this week.
Oh, awesome.
He didn't even know golf. You know, it's like.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm going to this Masters thing. I guess you know who do you like. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know how many people we kill to go to the freaking Masters?
Yeah, that's like the number one thing for most people.
You're like, yeah, I'm going to the Masters.
Maybe the Super Bowl.
Who do you like? You like Scotty? I'm like, dude, no, don't play him.
You don't bet 3 to 1.
I made him. You know who I made him play? He's playing all my guys. He's playing Homa to win. He's playing.
Oh my God, sheets.
He's playing Akshay. The chalkiest guy I'm letting him play is Oberg.
But Oberg the odds are not great either.
24 to 1 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's the
No, but to Jack, that's like pretty big. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, maybe I should play Scotty at 2 to 1. Ooh, maybe I'll go off the board and play Rory at 4 to 1. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
What I really should do is have him do like daily ones. He's only staying Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the showdowns.
Well, no, he can hit on the DFS, but you could probably bet winner of round 1 or something like that. Right?
Yeah, I was looking at some of the interesting bets some people had out there. Who was one that stood out to me that was 65 to 1? It was somebody you'd think would be lower, but I cannot remember who it was.
Who's going to be the guy? Here's the question: who's going to be the guy that wins this week that everybody says they have? That's the question.
Well, nobody's. I mean, I don't think we have a great chance of like it being like a totally surprise winner, because everybody will talk themselves into the. It could. By the way, you know what it might be? Sheets Oberg.
Yeah,
he's the most likely one because in DFS he is not getting ownership.
Why is that? Because
he and Fleetwood have a bad week last week, and then they don't want to play him.
I hope I'm getting a lot of him. I put minimum 20% of him.
Oh, nice. That's I did the same.
I hope I'm getting it. I mean, I'm still getting it.
My lucky thing.
So to give you an idea of what's going on, like in the NBA, like I'm looking at like different sites ownership projections for some of these players. There's like one guy at one place has 20%, another has for 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like no one's paying attention to the NBA anymore.
Yeah, it's
and then who is? Oh no, we know. I know who he is. I was about to say who that guy is, but we know who Brandon Pazinski is.
Oh yeah.
Him we know. But look at these guys are playing. Luka, Jokic, Anthony Davis. I've heard of these guys. These are basketball players.
Well,
the best players. They're the best players in the league.
That's a team that needs to win.
These are the best. All right, I guess so.
Oh, no, wait. This is back in. This is the game, right? This is the Dallas game.
Oh, this is, huh? There it is.
You just lock Luka in.
We got to play that, right?
I would lock him in personally. The one other time I said it, he only had like 70 fantasy points, and he also
I remember that.
He shot like 25% from the floor. Like,
I remember that. Remember, he got it all on peripherals.
Yeah, and this is like they need to win this game. Although I watched the Mavs play live, and I mean it was without AD. They are terrible.
Oh, really?
I mean, with AD, it's a little different, but like the Clippers just it felt like a high school team playing an NBA team. It was really bad. I was also very impressed with the Clippers. I really like the way Kawhi looks right now. I'm telling you, that's a team that could make a run.
So that guy, I don't know what to be in his brain for like a few minutes.
It's interesting. He's a totally unique guy.
Yep, totally unique.
But for a while, he was like considered the model player you wanted for your franchise.
Yeah.
Like, there was he was the new version of Duncan, you know?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you can't get, but he never doesn't get along with anybody. He just, whatever. He felt like he couldn't play fully and weird things happen. I mean, it is what it is.
And he basically reinvented defense. It's like,
yeah. I mean, he's like one of the guys who literally outplayed LeBron in like the finals. I mean, Kevin Durant did it too, but.
So I'm currently, by the way, getting 947% Yukov Nurkic.
947%.
Yeah, about 947%. And then last chance last chance saloon, Nijane Salone.
Oh yeah,
Getting a bunch of him. Carlton Carrington. Him I've heard of.
yeah.
I've heard a lot of these guys. Dude, you see you smash last night on behind style. Was it yesterday or the day before? Sar had like a million fantasy points. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he had like 35 at the half or something like that.
He's got something. There's something to that guy.
Yeah.
He's had some games like that. All right. I think I updated everybody with what I'm doing tonight. And by the way, that might mean faded. It doesn't necessarily mean play what I'm playing, because it has not been a good week this week for baseball. And it's only, how it's not a good week because it's only Wednesday, and it feels to me like it's the whole week's over. Like it feels like Friday.
Trey Lyles is chalky today.
Trey Lyles.
He is 60. I have him 6.3x and 30% owned possibly.
We've got a story about Trey Lyles at some point, but I can't talk about it on air.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there's a little some of my friends, man, you end up with friends who you grew up with your whole life, and they live different existences that don't even feel right. I look over, I'm watching the Lakers play the Knicks, and they're sitting on the court at Madison Square Garden.
What?
Yeah, to get courtside seats there. Well, I mean, they're doing, I'll just say, I guess the biggest Knicks, whatever, one of the Knicks players' houses. She's designing it, but I still was shocked. It blew my mind. I was like, do you know how impossible those tickets are? Like, that's not even a thing. You can't even be rich and just go there.
Right. Yeah. What's going on in the NBA here? Is this something changed? Some lineup change? Let's see what this is. No, I don't think so. Luka has arrived in Dallas.
I mean, they're
Luka is all dressed in black for his first game in Dallas.
I love it. He plays right into it. I love it.
There's no chance like Patrick Beverly plays for Dallas, is there?
No. But it doesn't. No, I mean, they need to win. But I mean, I just have a hard time buying that he doesn't have a massive game. The only thing is that it's a really important game for them. But still, that probably just means he has even more of the ball. I don't know. What's his ownership projection? I didn't take a look at the baseball.
Not much.
Really?
I don't think so.
I might just throw in lineups and just lock him in, and that's it. I mean, I don't even understand what's wrong with the world.
It says, I think 9% ownership, maybe.
Did they just raise his price like crazy or something? Oh shit! I just sold out of that one.
12-9.
That's not unreasonable. I mean, he had a down few games with LeBron back, but this is
12-9 is a lot of points. That's a lot of money.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of value out there.
I'll put it to you another way. What did I just say? So you have Nurkic, who's like super chalk, and he's only projected like at 6x. You know what I mean? Like, and he's 5K. It's not like there's good value tonight.
Yeah, I would this would be the easiest.
You'd be like, let's start with Luka and figure the rest out.
Yeah, just whatever lineups I'm playing.
I'll take 2x out of my $3,500 guy, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I could be wrong when these situations happen. It's never happened yet. The worst was Luka with 70. Kobe's last game, which was insane to me that people didn't play him enough. When DeMarcus Cousins went back to Sacramento,
right.
He, like, both times he put up 85 once and 95 the other time. Like, there's some you just gotta just go, okay, that one's happening. I don't know. For me, that's the way I would treat this. He's gonna have 80. We'll see though. All right, Cheats. Anything else?
Yeah, we had a kid, and this is after we started playing DFS. We had a kid, but I had to cut. He was a real problem kid and pretty good player, but I just can't have it.
Yeah.
And then like 6 months later, we saw on the schedule we were playing them, and I'm like, oh fuck, right? So I told my whole team, he's like, listen, this kid's just gonna shoot every time he touches the ball.
Yeah.
They're like, why do you say that? I'm like, dude, listen. We cut him. I basically told his parents that he was a piece of shit. It's like, and then he has to shape up his attitude if he wants to become a respectable member of society. You don't think he's going to shoot? But we took care of him. We did what I want all these DFS teams to do. I don't care if we lose. I'm not letting this kid beat me.
Yeah. I mean, they'll probably try to do that to Luka tonight. I'm not sure they're fully equipped.
It's not. That's the thing. For 13-year-olds, you can get away with it.
Right. Right. All right. Let me see the Dodgers. No, nothing. Well, it would have been nice if Arizona did this last night. Actually, they think they had a pretty decent night last night. All right.
I guess I'm out of here. Watch for question. I have questionable takes on Portland for whatever that's worth. That's 9 p.m. We will. Let me just see what else is questionable coming up. Yeah, so all these Portland guys are always questionable. Simons particularly. So we'll keep an eye on that. Looks like the rest of these guys are mostly a go. Oh, Giddey is questionable for an 8 p.m. Oh, he missed the first end of the back-to-back yesterday, presumably to be ready for today. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins questionable. He's less than he missed the last 6 games. But then it says he couldn't. Oh, I like this guy, by the way, on Miami. I like that Pella Larson guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Wiggins, Denny. Let's see if Denny legit questionable. Denny questionable. Second straight. Okay, so Portland value could open up. Which Vucevic is this? This is the old Vucevic, probable. It's like the El Castillos, the Luis Castillos, and the Vucevic's. We figured it out, though.
Yeah.
Simons. Okay. Good guys. All right. I guess I'm going to get going. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right.